Unciphered LLC is claiming a victory in hacking Trezor's Model T and retrieving the seed and pin. How concerned should we be about this? Welcome back. All right, we are going to dive right into this. Unciphered LLC, it's official. We're the first to crack the Trezor Model T by Satoshi Labs. Unfortunately, it's unfixable at the chip level. Oh, the fear mongering. Oh, the concern trolling. Oh no, what do we do? Let's dive into this a little bit deeper. Here we go. Crypto security firm Unciphered claims ability to physically hack Trezor T wallet. Unciphered, a company of cybersecurity professionals who recover lost cryptocurrency, says it found a way to physically hack into the Trezor T hardware wallet. Trezor says it acknowledged a similar sounding attack vector a few years ago. Unciphered told CoinDesk in an extensive series of conversations and over email it made use of an unpatchable hardware vulnerability with the STM32 chip that allows us to dump the embedded flash and one-time programmable data. The team did perform a laboratory demonstration and documented it in a video that it was able to hack into a Trezor T wallet supplied by CoinDesk and successfully retrieve our seed phrase and pin. It looks like an RDP downgrade attack, which was publicly flagged as a risk 3 years ago. As communicated on our blog, that's from Trezor, in early 2020, RDP downgrade attacks require physical theft of a device and extremely sophisticated technological knowledge and advanced equipment. Trezors can be protected by a strong passphrase, which adds another layer of security that renders a RDP downgrade useless. That's right. So if you just employ the passphrase, this whole entire thing that I'm reading through is just a giant nothing burger. But I'm going to explain why it's a nothing burger anyways, even regardless of the passphrase. Unciphered said it wouldn't confirm or deny whether its hack of the Trezor T would be considered an RDP downgrade, citing current engagements and non-disclosure agreements that restrict elaboration on how this exploit chain works at this time. Further, any technical disclosure would put Satoshi Labs customers at potential risk till mitigations such as a new chip is utilized other than the STM32 in current use, according to Unciphered. Okay, so look, guys, the reality is this whole entire attack vector revolves around somebody physically getting your hardware wallet. They absolutely need to get it. And I'll show you guys, we're going to take a look at the video after. I'm sorry. I mean, look, I get it. Yes, indeed, this was a hack, but this is a giant nothing burger. This is just, I mean, look, you know, Unciphered is doing a good job of getting their name out there. There you go. There's that. Unciphered pointed out that even though Trezor is aware that the Trezor T model has a vulnerability in its STM32 chip, the company has not done anything to fix that since the initial effort to publicize the risk. Also not true, and we will show you this. Let's wrap it up on this, and we'll dive through the evidence to the contrary. According to Trezor, contrary to Unciphered's claims, Trezor has already taken significant steps to resolve this with the development of the world's first auditable and transparent secure element through a sister company, Tropic Square. First, let's back it up. What is an RDP downgrade attack? So Unciphered claims that Satoshi Labs did not address the initial issue and has not. So here is from Trezor's blog our response to the read protection downgrade attack, and you'll notice the date 2020. That's 3 years ago. The RDP downgrade attack is a precise attack that targets the hardware vulnerability of STM32 microchips used in the Trezor 1 and Trezor Model T hardware wallets and their derivatives such as KeepKey. The RDP downgrade involves the voltage glitching of the STM32 microchip, which allows the attacker with specialized hardware, knowledge, and physical access to bypass the protection put in place by the manufacturer and extract the contents of the microcontroller's flash memory. This way, the attacker can obtain the encrypted recovery seed from the device. So I can tell you right away, definitely a lot of people that are stealing hardware wallets are very familiar with the ability to glitch the voltage in order to essentially damage the chip to the point where it where it allows us to bypass the protection. As for the other claim that Satoshi Labs hasn't actually attempted to address this issue with the STM chip, we're now going to take a look at Tropic Square's press release from February 20th, 2023. Tropic Square's initial testing of their first batch of prototype chips moves them one step closer to production. The new chip is based on open source philosophy. Its principles initiated the company's pursuit of a chip designed with maximal transparency and consequently make it possible for the customers to verify its safety. The ability to audit should then become a standard in device security, for example, in IoT or consumer electronics. The first device to demonstrate this standard will be the new generation of the Trezor crypto wallets, which are produced by Tropic Square's parent company, Satoshi Labs. Okay, so there we have Trezor addressing both concerns. They're addressing the STM chip and they are addressing the hack. Now, the other piece to this. The other piece is what Unciphered had to do in order to get the data off of the Trezor. And we've got the video right here. We're going to take a look at it. And I mean, you can see for yourself. All right, guys, here is the actual video with the steps that were provided by Unciphered. Okay, so here we go.
And at the end of this video, we're going to show you how we're actually able to reliably extract a seed from a Trezor T from Satoshi Labs. Let's get started.
Oh, yeah. Every criminal I know is able to do this kind of stuff. This is easy peasy. And that is a breakout board, by the way. So they go and they solder the essentially they solder the Trezor to this board. Okay. Oh god. Anyways. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna put the link to the video in the show notes so everybody can watch this process. But look, this is the takeaway. This is the takeaway. In order for this hack to be successful, number one, the attacker has to physically steal or have possession of your hardware wallet, number one. Number two, they have to be technologically proficient to be able to do this. So they have to know to buy a breakout board. They have to understand what all the input and output pins are on the chips, okay? And in order to be able to solder the proper connections to the proper connections. And number three, if you have a passphrase on your Trezor, all of that work that they're doing is for nothing because they can't extract. Even though they can extract your seed and pin, they won't be able to do anything with it because they don't have the passphrase. So look, guys, I'm not saying that. I just so people understand, I'm not saying that this isn't a bad thing. I'm not trying to diminish it. What I am trying to do is show you objectively that this is not so simple, because a lot of times you end up hearing this type of information and immediately you're like, oh my gosh, my hardware wallet's insecure. I don't know what to do. Bitcoin's so complicated. Take the time to get more information. And in most cases, you'll realize that it's just hyperbolic to get clicks. It's just hyperbole in order to get attention. And at the end of the day, it's not really, number one, it's most likely not going to happen. And number two, like I said, if you do the simple task of enabling the passphrase on the device, then all of that work becomes useless that they've done. Now, I did see a point that Unciphered made saying, well, Trezor's chip is insecure, which is true. It's not actually their chip in particular. It's just a generic STM32 chip that they use, which many devices use. But I think what's not, I guess to Unciphered's point, they're saying, hey, look, Trezor is putting the onus of securing the Trezor on the customer when in fact Trezor should be responsible for that. And to a certain extent, I can't disagree with Unciphered on this point. And that's why I was happy to show and happy to report that Tropic Square seems to be building a chip that fulfills the demands and the feature set requirements by our industry. So to wrap it up, I do think it's kind of a nothing burger. I do think it's kind of a nothing burger. I really I'd love to see the people that essentially are going around physically stealing people's Trezors and also at the same time have this incredible knowledge in order to solder a breakout board to the Trezor and practice the voltage glitching until the chip malfunctions and allows that data to go through. And again, indeed, to somebody technical, they're going to come back and say, Phil, that's not that difficult. Yes, it is not that difficult for you who understands what it is that you're doing. But the average person is not that technical. Okay? So I think in the grand scheme of things, if we're objective, this is a bit of a nothing burger. Your Trezor is still safe. Don't forget to learn about using the passphrase. That was the clip for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Help us out with the evil YouTube algorithm. And I will catch you all next week.